We're back. So this time I'm pretty sure I'm recording. I've been checking compulsively. Gonna develop OCD over it. So one thing that was lost from the lost recording, which I didn't mention, was that I've also improved the assassins. They worked when they did the stab, but it was a bit janky with the assassins, how everything worked. I've improved that so that there's 95% less jank, maybe 100% no more jank. But if they stab someone, they don't become immune to poison and then poison themselves and then stop being immune to poison, because that had all sorts of problems. Like if the assassins got the ability to cause people to bleed, then they would need to be immune to bleeding as well, and I would have to add it for every single thing, and if there was a mod, I'd have to add it for every single mod. And now they just don't poison themselves at all whatsoever. There's just an option for that, which I missed, so now they don't. Okay, so they have a goblin. Goblins are a very weak unit, but they're free to produce. So it's neat. This is something I added to the game, so it's neat that the AI has added them. If you're wondering about that, just keep waiting, and maybe I'll get to show it off in this campaign scenario. Oh, this is very pretty. I don't know if I've fought in a jungle, I guess, before? Tropical terrain? I talked about nerfing trebuchets in the last episode. I have continued to do... I have further nerfed them since that, and I haven't even showed them off yet. But fear not, because if you really like the old trebuchet, I have done something else to make up for the extra nerfing, and hopefully we'll get to that. Probably not this mission unless it goes on long, because it's quite expensive. But with the normal trebuchet, we should be able to see the nerfing, probably, if I start making money. I'm actually quite poor right now. My voice sounds a bit harsh. Yeah. I think I inhaled like a mouthful of dust just before I started recording. So hopefully that goes away, or maybe it's not noticeable whatsoever. I've been dusting and vacuuming my room like crazy. It's been going through a big overhaul, but I think I'm also stirring up a bunch of stuff that was under, boxes or under beds, that sort of stuff. Ongoing process. It wasn't dirty before, but now everything is in its place. So I've got like one thing in each place. I think I scared them off. But there's more to it than... Oh, that reminds me. I'm going to go into observer mode. So that way, if they start walking around in my lands, I'll actually see them do it. And you do that. You activate that just by pressing O. So yeah, I've been... and I've always thought, yeah, my room's clean, whatever. And it's kind of like the same with my health, where I was like, oh yeah, I eat healthy, whatever, it's fine. But there's kind of layers to it, right? There's eating what people say is healthy or what people say is clean, and then there's what's clean for you and what's healthy for you. Like, if you're allergic to broccoli, then eating broccoli will not be healthy, and you shouldn't be doing that just because everyone says, oh yeah, you gotta eat broccoli, right, as a very obvious example. So for my room, there was nothing on the floor, everything was put away in a drawer or something, but, the drawers weren't clean. Or they weren't like covered in filth or anything, but I mean, just they're full of random, Lego men piled on top of books, piled on top of papers, that sort of thing. And so now that isn't the case. I had to get rid of a huge amount of stuff. Actually improved the airflow, because one of the vents was covered up by a hat on a rack. And so the ventilation's much better now, and I've been sleeping much better. And moved my bed around, and that's been nice too. I think just flipping my mattress around and a few other things. I think what that does, in part, is it just gives you a different perspective on everything that you've been doing. So basically, I think it's a good idea to just completely mix up something you're doing, not necessarily permanently, but at least for a couple days or weeks or months in your life, every so often. I don't know what time frame I would say is ideal, or if I have an ideal time frame, but just mixing things up gives the benefit of if you don't realize that there were certain things you were doing wrong. Yeah, so sometimes you don't realize that you were doing something unhealthy or unhelpful to you. And if you just mix things up, then you can see what works and what doesn't work, and you can be like, oh wow, I really need airflow, or I don't actually care if it's... Like, one thing that happened to me, I was doing a bunch of house sitting, and I realized I have so many structures in my actual room that block out light so I can sleep better. But when I've been house sitting, I've been sleeping better in rooms with more light, but they have better airflow. So airflow is actually the thing that matters, not light like I thought. And if the things that give me light are blocking air... Sorry, if the things that block out light are also blocking out airflow, then they're not worth it. Things like that. Yeah, I do want to defeat these guys, but I'm just so scared because I lost the entire game last time. But as long as I don't do this too stupidly, I should be fine. Because this isn't actually a very... The problem is it's a fight where it's very easy to lose units just quickly. Because they're chargers, so they do bonus damage when they charge. Let's see, where is that? If they move 3 or more hexes, they do +6 damage. So yeah, they do a lot of extra damage if they they've moved. And hopefully I can do something about that. Start using the magic fist of it. If I level this guy up just once or twice... Okay, so my hero didn't turn around, so facing actually is important before casting spells. There you go. And a bigger concern really here is just losing my apprentices at this point. So I think I will just... I'll try to keep him safe. I don't think it'll work by doing this, but it might. Yeah, they can still get the double flank off. And it's really unfortunate to lose those apprentices because they're quite useful. And I probably didn't have to, but... It happens. Not here to play perfectly, as I've said. That's why I'm justifying myself a bunch, because I don't care. I really need to learn how to boat. That would help me out here. Bring those in case there's some sneaky goblins below. And, yep. Just gonna wait for the next turn. You're waiting. Could send... These aren't going to be defending the structure on their own. See if there's anything coming this way. Okay, we're about to lose my spiders to another group of spiders. I could send these in to defend, but then those goblins that I saw wandering about might become a threat. I just need more troops everywhere, and I also need more mana. And do I have a mana? No, I do not have a mana node. Okay, well. There we go. Wildlife refuge, and suddenly we aren't hemorrhaging quite as badly. I don't want to be dealing with those spiders. I'm going to pull back. Not that the walls will do much good against spiders. What do we have here? Treasure sites give me more research. That's expensive. Wow. Better to get the lead voice rune. And that is also interesting that I can directly compare these things and say, maybe if the lead voice rune is so much better than the animalistic knowledge, that's something to keep in mind. Now, this costs a bunch of mana, and this doesn't, but it is something to keep in mind. Archers get razor projectiles. What do I want? More summoning would be good, but I can't afford more summoning at the moment, so maybe I'll just go for better summoning. Make it a bit more efficient. And where do I want an army at this point? I think it'll depend on what I find. I'm going to send these guys down here, and we have ourselves a fairly strongly defended fortress, which doesn't seem to have much benefit. We have that there. Bring you around here. Did someone breathe loudly? I heard this weird intake of breath. Kind of freaked me out a bit. I think it was in game. I don't know where else it would have come from. I don't think I have any other programs running. Besides, hopefully, the recording software. Which I have, like, quadruple checked on, so I'm just preventing myself from checking on it purposely right now so that I don't go completely crazy. I can get obsessive about things. And I'll send the warg forward, I think. The teleporter leads to a destination. Would you look at that? You arrived just in time. These lands have been forgotten for too long. We cannot protect it. Opportunistic lords and now even the Commonwealth have trampled this remote land. We need your leadership before this place is overrun by profiteers. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it seems like exploring far and wide, at least in this campaign, is highly rewarded. And we can start buffing up these towns immediately. And now we have a bit of income, which is nice. I am worried that if there's goblins crawling around everywhere, that I'm going to instantly lose these places. Okay, there's a human town there, it looks like. The goblins haven't taken it yet. Maybe I can convince them to join me first. No. Why don't they like me? Let me know when you're ready to talk. Okay, we've got a bit of gold there. I don't need gold so much as I need mana. The humans have mana. I could gather my elves together to take out the humans, but I'm slightly concerned that there's going to be goblins just popping out somewhere. So I think what I want to do is have these places build up as fast as possible so that I can start getting shrines and whatnot. And so I'm going to go for the long-term play of Builder's Halls because those let me build everything else faster. Although I don't have the income to handle that, so maybe I just go for a shrine for the moment. Because even if I could build faster, I couldn't afford to be building stuff. Like, I'll make more money if I have the Builder's Hall, I believe. I think your production is converted into gold. The way I can check that, actually. Base income. Production is the amount of gold or mana your city can use per turn. And then merchandise... 50. Okay, so production does not affect your gold. Good to know. And we are just going to wait again so that I can burst out full force immediately. And once again, I'm going to need more forces. You're good, you're good. Back over here. What did I find underground? I found that fortress, which I can't take with my current force. I don't want to risk sending him forward to scout, because if I lose him, I lose. He's just going to stay there. He's actually quite vulnerable right now. I would like to get some more eyes on the ground. If I bring this back, I could build a watchtower over there, potentially. Is that? Can't tell if that's treasure or not. I don't think there's anything here. Maybe if I stand there, it triggers a flag of some sort. One thing I could... Well, no, there's the spiders there, so I don't want to risk that. Although if I bring all my spiders together... We're stronger than their spiders, unless they have stealthy spiders. Okay. Domain invasion. Oh, yeah, see, this is the kind of thing where I just lose the game. So he can have that city, but not without a fight. And that is the hero herself. And this is a problem with having him, with having sort of sneakily gotten him. Is that he's vulnerable to this sort of thing, and now I need to lose troops because I'm. Yeah, this is not good. Okay, so I'll take the money back and just give me a spearman if you. What do they have? A ton of ravens. Not actually that strong of a force. If I stay there with these guys and these guys, I could win. I was just worried he's going to bring in more and more troops. I grab the battering ram now that I have the projectile protection. That would protect me from the swarm darters to some degree. Maybe their mosquito darts might ignore projectile protection because they're kind of weird. And if they don't, they should, and I could add that. Because, yeah, the point is that they're shooting out mosquitoes, and mosquitoes can just get everywhere. Yeah, so this force, if I brought my hero back, could win. But if I lose the game. Which does make it a little bit scary. I might just lose it to Rebellion. Although Rebellion could be good, because they're hostile to everyone, so maybe they'll just fight for me. Now that he has shown his hand... Well, she, I guess, has shown her hand, though. Let's start... I'm gonna bring these over here. More confidently move up and to attack. Can I move my entire force here? I can. Bring you in. Bring the boar. Can I fit these? And I can. And then I can bring the boar in. Good. Now the only downside here is going to be I used up a bunch of spell power to secure my position, but it's fine. And are these fast enough to jump in? They are. Just unable to because of these goblins. Everyone could surround. Can still do this, I think. Yeah. Yeah. And then I do it like that. Yeah, okay. Nice. Alright, let's do this. And the one thing about defending that city with my sorcerer, the ravens could just swarm. Even if I win the fight, the ravens could swarm and surround my hero, and then I lose. Which would be really unfortunate. Actually fairly annoying to have to keep your heroes alive. I mean, you should anyways, but it was one of the main innovations that the sequels to Age of Wonders 1, Age of Wonders 2, Shadow Magic, and 3 all avoided, because in number 1, you'd lose the game if you lost your hero. It was a very swingy sort of game in that way. And so all the other games are like, yeah, that was a bad idea, let's not do that. But now the campaign sort of brought that back. What is that? It's like a little little shanty house thing. Guess that's a patio on the roof. Okay. Swarm darters are quite scary units. Unreasonably so for being mosquito launchers. But they do fire damage? No. No, maybe it's if you put them in an army with a dreadnought, they can start doing fire damage. I'm not sure. I seem to remember them having 3 damage types, not just the 2, but maybe I'm wrong. Shame. The funny thing is, I can lose my main hero just fine because he respawns. But they don't want you to lose the story heroes. They could have just said, okay, they're you know, you lost them, they're injured, or they could have added a way for them to come back in the same manner as the main heroes. But oh, you just lose. We'll save the dire penguins for for when the time is right, I think. Once we're in among them, that's when we strike. And Hornet Swarm would have been awesome, but yeah, I'm out of mana. Maybe I should switch over some of my cities to producing mana instead of gold. I probably should. Because it's getting fairly... So if I get you forward one more step... And I do the same... Spiders. Now those butchers, again, a little bit scary. Nothing we can't overcome. Maybe I bring in the serpents to help. I'll bring in these spiders too, because most of their force is over here. Bring in the penguins to join in when the time is right. It's very cautiously creeping forward. Goblins aren't much of a threat. They're just a very cheap free unit. If I could get my shamans to level up, that would be nice. As well as give Nomlik Nomlik Trismegistus. Trismegistus, I suppose. Thrice great. But in, I don't know, Dutch or something? I don't know what language that's supposed to be. Maybe it's a made-up fantasy language to sound like Trimegistus. Trimegistus. Okay, yeah, not so effective against spiders because they're resistant to that sort of thing. Now they're all running away, cowards. The original plan... Oh, that's fine, actually. I'll do it this way. I was going to use the wargs to take down the barricade, but barricades are fairly easy to destroy, so I can do it this way. Okay, that's them gone. Now, the hunter spiders... If I send them in to take out the butchers, I'm worried I'll get overwhelmed by everything else. And I don't have any hunter spider babies, unfortunately. If they want to come to me, that's fine. Actually, it's too late to teleport now. So yeah, one more turn with the penguins, and then their time to strike will be upon us. Now their hero, for some reason, has decided to completely isolate themselves, which I'm happy with. And it seems like a bad choice. Maybe it's because they're immune to webs. This. I want to leave a bit of space. People to get... There we go. Send you up. Nice, got some experience on them. Yeah, as I mentioned before, much more experience focused, the druids, than any other faction, really. Because a lot of their units evolve. But of course, once they evolve, the prices go through the roof. So it's a bit of a balancing act. You, I need shooting stuff just for your own sake. But not... Okay, maybe I do it now. There we go. First time we've seen someone paralyzed with fear. Look at him. They're not even moving. And only one of them got hit, but that's one less thing to worry about. I don't feel safe sending him forward just yet, though. Charm has a bit of a range, but wait with that until everyone else is in position. Ooh. This guys did some serious damage. Okay, so charming the butchers would probably be the best thing I could get with everything here. I could web the marauders, or I could just kill them with the means, more or less. So I'll try to contain the butchers for Thundern to take care of. Not quite, but I can keep trying. It's got a cooldown. Got a couple goblins there, which... Nice target for Nomlik. And let Reskar join in on the fun. And then Serpents can't quite make it in there. I can start getting them into position. These guys need to get out of there. They actually did quite a bit of damage. So maybe I'll try to keep these guys trapped. It's best to deal with this. Serpents can weaken them a bit, and then if they're weak... Oh, there's an obstacle in the way. Well, can do that, and then if they're weak, I can surround them fairly safely, and then my vampire spiders finish that off. And the penguins come in to help. Or... Sure. Ooh, that's not good. Dread spider babies. I can help with the webbing in a moment. Having a bunch of spiders is very abusable. Not with my mod. I mean, it is more so with my mod to some degree, but it's easier to get more spiders with my mod. But just in general, having a bunch of spiders, which druids can do because they can summon animals, is a very abusable situation. Okay. And so we just want to wait for 5 turns there is the plan. Seems a little slow. Maybe just keep tickling him while we go. And I still want my druids to level. There we go. Awesome. So now my druids have Entangling Strike, and they got healing as well. So that's really nice. And yeah, I'm not going to spend forever doing this stuff, but I'll just do a little bit. Someone just tried to de-spell me? I guess they're casting on me while, like, the hero's watching me. Fine. Now, of course, I could get bad luck on every single one of these and then have the butchers take down my entire army. This is a great way just to have their hero waste a bunch of mana, actually. So I'm happy to just sit here. If I don't do damage, I'm going to run into problems. So I need to keep a bit of damage going. Otherwise the fight will just end. I feel like if they don't do damage themselves, it should also end, maybe. Because this is cruel. Maybe it does. I don't tend to abuse this sort of thing. So I don't particularly enjoy it, but I think it would be fun to have a butcher. Okay. And if this fails, then they're just gonna die because I'm not gonna wait them long. For a moment, I thought, wait, is there another unit I'm missing? Okay, nice. Gained from that. We didn't actually end up taking the town. So I'll send my little goblin in. I could have charmed their hero, I guess, and then I would have had another hero. That would have been quite good. But now we have bugs. If I produce a builder, I can use its tunneling ability to dig through these dirt walls and see if there's anything behind it. Some creatures like the goblin big beetle can tunnel as well. I don't want them to surprise me from the other side. It's a great idea. Never would have thought to use tunneling. But actually, it's still a good idea because I can make money. So absorbing will allow me to get big beetles, which would be nice. And it'll prevent the city from rebelling, which is also nice. Who wants to fight some wargs? Anyone else have movement points left? You do? Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna have to wait it either way. And penguins can join that group, and boar can join this group. That'll do for now. Okay, what else do we have here? I would actually like another... I think I'd like another... Ooh, if I got Draconians, it'd be easier to defend this place. But more goblins would be more digging. And I could actually... Can I actually even build this right now? Takes 1,000... Yeah, I can't afford it either way. Okay, so mana is a problem right now, so we're gonna have to do something about that. We're gonna have to get some units killed, basically. Or find mana. You know, whichever is easier. Or we could do like a... Yeah, if I can take a place quickly, I can grab some mana that way. Put you and you in, and then if I'm lucky, I'll get mana for taking this. So that'll be the plan for the moment. Got poisonous fog, which is fine. I can work with that. We're going to keep them healthy and fed. Okay. So yeah, the goal here, get mana. And don't step on the flaming plates, obviously. Got ourselves a big spider there. Okay. The Hellhounds are the only really scary unit here. My raptors should be able to handle them. Especially with how much health they have. 74 health now. Yeah, my raptors are almost a mini tier 3 at this point. I don't think spiders are weak to fire. It feels right if they were. But yeah, we are much weaker because of this smog, so have to be cautious. Yeah, and that's what I'm afraid of. They come in and start doing crazy amounts of damage. Yeah, I think send you over there. You can easily take on some hatchlings. Attempts to freeze the unit. Much point to that. Got 6 to 10 or 7 to 11. Oh, I could charm the Hellhounds, I guess. But I need less units right now, not more. Okay, that gave me gold, which is not what I need. I'm definitely going to have to start converting some cities over. Instant Wrath is a great ability, very annoying to deal with, but it costs mana, of course, to cast spells, and mana is not my strong point right now. So let's get you health that's like a normal person's amount of health. And then Strong Will is quite good. especially if I'm up against rogues, because they have bards and whatnot. If I switch over to generating mana, I'm just in the positive. Okay. And we're just going to keep doing that for a bit. As for all of this, okay, they've got some orcs there. That's a fight I can win. Can I bring you down? No. I'd like a builder over here just to keep an eye out for stuff. And if I chip away at his forces this way, win in whatever fight I can, then I slowly pull ahead. But there is a bug, or he does that. Oh, that hurts. Fair enough. Okay, that's a problem. Yeah, so there's a bug. I think he's a warlord. Yeah, he's a warlord. Oh, and he's an emperor. Okay, so I am playing on emperor difficulty. Good. But yeah, there's a bug in the game. I'm going to need reinforcements ASAP. Introduced by my mod, but it's actually originally caused, not by my fault, let's say, whereby the Orc Warlords can... It basically allows Orc Warlords to abuse an exploit in the game engine, which the developers, after I pointed it out to them, didn't think it was worth their time to fix, which, fair enough, right? It's this very rare exploit, but it's very unlikely it would ever apply in a normal game, but my mod causes it to happen all the time. So we'll probably be seeing it. If you see his city domains start to shrink, or you see... Yeah, well, I'll keep the rest a surprise if you don't know what's coming, but it's quite something. And yeah, like I said, I could probably win this fight because it's just a bunch of birds, but on the other hand, Groshnak can't handle that fight if the birds decide to go for Groshnak, I'm in trouble, potentially. Or if he has another one of those earth magic spells and just crushes me with it. So I'm kind of torn on what to do. I could just send these two back as reinforcements. I might do that. Oh, wait, hey, hold on. This is bad. Yeah, run. Okay. I don't like that. And now I can't get back across because I don't have the ability to... Okay, where is Seafaring? I need that. That's kind of the worst of both worlds. I think what Groshnak needs to do... Well, I can't fight a bunch of wargs with this army, though. I'd get destroyed. Thinking, like, I need to start taking a bunch of fights so that I can level him up enough that he can stand a chance against this level 1 hero. Yeah. I wish I had an assassin of my own. I could kind of use the skirmishers as a pseudo-assassin if they could get through all of that. The spearmen, even. Okay, so... Groshnak's in trouble. Where's the Hunter Spider Queen? Who's with me? Just take my fastest units and help this guy out. What do we got? We've got 2 butchers. Okay, it's actually quite a strong army. So I need to take everything and help this guy out. But I'm also going to keep them together. Okay, the archer didn't decide to finish me off, which is strange, but kind of him. My cities are in danger down here. Nothing in the lake, so I think I'll bring these up for defense. I'm spread a bit too... Well, it's not exactly that I'm spread too thin, but I'm not distributed well. I guess that's sort of spread. I'm spread too unevenly. I think I'll leave the butchers to defend the city. And everyone else can come join in on the fight. Speed is everything here, so anything I can move, I will. You're good. I think I want more people underground digging, because that's more money. You guys get dig in for me. Start recouping a bit of money. These are in the way, unfortunately. Can't go around. And digging takes a bit of time. Okay, so that army probably can't kill this. Well, it can kill this one, but I don't think they'll try it. But this army could be a threat to Groshnex, so and these guys could come up here. I've kind of run myself into a corner. Or I've been driven into a corner. Now, is observer mode actually... Okay, it is on. I guess it's just if I'm focused on something else. They decided not to move. I guess they think they have me where they want me. Or Emperor AI during the campaign isn't so good. Or some mod is breaking everything. Or maybe that's just what the Emperor AI do, you know? Doesn't have to think like a human. It's too busy, I don't know, cheating or something. I might come down here and grab that just for the little bit of extra resources it has to offer. I wouldn't mind if I push forward a bit. Spider ball. That sounds horrible. Okay, not everyone can make it this turn. It's actually a decently well defended point as well on their part. Got more spiders that can join in. I think waiting the turn is worth it. If they didn't move that turn. Just keep mining down here. And these guys can do a little aquatic attack. Okay, Amok, Beast Friend, gonna take my city. There's not much I can do about that. Run away, I guess. I think these elf cities are going down. I got them without an army. It has its ups and its downs. I would have loved to take both of these, but I've been too busy with everything at once. It's quite something. Okay. An easy fight. That doesn't look impossible. Longbowmen are a bit of a concern. If I had mana, it would be a fairly easy fight. Ah. Just retreat you up here. Got Deshkan being invaded. Yeah, that's fine. I expected to lose this city about 4 turns ago, so I'm all for it. It's not much to do except wait to die, but maybe... Where is she at? She's there. I can sort of cripple her forces if I take her out, so hopefully she'll move out of position. Yep, just like that. Just need her to do it again. A lot of birds. Birds are going to try to get behind me there. Oh, they have assassins of their own. Nice. Yeah, so they'll be able to show off what I fixed. Hopefully. Although I don't really want to deal with them. If I go at them, they can't. They're very slow for some reason. Okay. Okay. You see that? No weird a million pop-ups saying boat, just simple. They now have the Mischief Managed ability, which the AI I can only imagine will use offensively, because that's how they use teleport abilities all the time. Unfortunately, that sort of puts a damper in my take her out plan. Yeah, there's not much for it here. I can hurt the crows a bit, and if I make them noxiously vulnerable, that would... Yeah, let's see what the AI does with Mischief Managed. I'm kind of curious. If I live that long. Okay, they didn't use it. They only lost the one crow. I expect to just lose the city. Wow, you really need reinforcements that bad? They got succubi already. We're a little bit behind, I think. It is 2v1. Can I pillage my own? I can. It takes a bit long. And I don't have enough time to raise it, so... If I release it as a vassal, do they immediately... No, that takes time too. Okay. I'm gonna say, because vassals have units, but... Yeah, just generate mana. as long as you live, make me a bit of mana. So I have basically lost 3 little towns, but hopefully the cost to them... How annoying. Okay, I can get around fairly easily. Let's see. So you can go there. You can... Okay, I think this works. You guys go here. You guys go here. Spire? Oh, the boar. No? Okay. Some units are going to have to be left behind. Against the city, I want a hunter spider, I think. And then you lot, I'm going to need eventually. So I'll just bring you up. And did they react to me being about to attack them? Is that a thing? Aha. Huh? I think that was a coincidence. Right. Now, just before I do that fight, I'm just going to keep moving stuff forward. Alright, here we go. Alright, let's do this. So I am thinking, a concern I have with the campaign, the way it's structured, and that if you lose your heroes, it's all over, is the fact that we're fighting people that have assassins and shadow stalkers. And that means... And shadow stalkers and assassins especially are designed to kill heroes, in part. So we're going to have to be very careful with the heroes. That's just cure disease, right? Yeah. Okay, well, let's make a spooky spider. And there's spooky spider, so we don't lose it. Yeah, so upgrading my Kuro's defense is going to be really important in order to succeed here. Well, even that won't help against the assassins that much. Unless I can... Like, immunity to poison would be a start. Just a bunch of dire penguins actually could help. Now, rogues don't do so well in the late game. I mean, my mod makes it a bit better, and shadow stalkers are terrifying. But rogues don't actually get a tier 4 unit, unlike every other faction. So, in the very late game, they start, you know, like the Shrines of Smiting, for instance. They don't have anything to compete with those. And my tier 4 is, I think, the strongest unit in the game. It's a contender at the very least. Ooh, they're almost gold rank. They don't evolve, but maybe they should. I had a dream last night about just hordes and hordes of spiders attacking my house. And they couldn't get over the fence for whatever reason, but they could get through the front gate. and so they were just coming around and trying to batter down the front gate. It's kind of horrifying. And there was all sorts of political betrayal going on. It was me and a bunch of people, well, actually people I didn't know, but just people I recognize, like, you know, YouTubers and book characters and everyone else, trying to defend the place. I didn't connect it to playing Age of Wonders, but I wonder now, thinking on it. It does seem very... That is a lot of Swarm Darters they have. Can you imagine if that was a real thing? Like, just people strapping barrels full of mosquitoes to their back to load into their blow darts? Like tsetse flies or something? I don't think they would... Like, it could work as maybe a very vague assassin tool, but I don't think as a you know, weapon on the field of battle would be that useful. Waiting for your foes to die of malaria would take a while, and you'd have to hope the mosquitoes targeted them and not you, and actually weren't disoriented by being flung out of a... Like, it'd be better just to dump the barrel on the battlefield if you were going to go for that strategy in the first place. Now, this doesn't do much damage, but if I can make them vulnerable like that, then it'll start doing damage. And I'm already feeling a little overwhelmed by... Ooh. Okay, that kind of peaked something. Hopefully it doesn't destroy ears of headphone users. It's not exactly loud, but it's very distorted. I don't think it's... Okay, we took out one group of goblins. That's basically it. How does that work? Do they stay... So they lose their next turn. Wait, do the Untouchables... Is that what they're called? Yeah. Do they spit? What are they spitting? Are they actually spitting? Ew. I feel like they're, you know, they should have that filth throw ability instead, it feels like. Instead of spitting, that's gross. Okay, so you're doing a little bit rough. How do I don't quite know how to get past these walls. I guess I just go for it. These disgusting Untouchables. Send you to get them. Okay, that didn't work. Right, you can come in and finish those off. Maybe? Not quite. Start bringing in the vampire spiders. And now they've got the butchers, which, again, are kind of scary units. And are they still blind? How long does that last? Oh, just forever. No wonder. This gets rid of that, doesn't it? A strong will. Let's see. Strong will get rid of blindness? No. Ah, that's really annoying. I guess the spiders are, like the big spiders are going to be the way to get through the barricade. They'll need a bit of help getting there in the first place. You could take those out, but then you might get swarmed. That's probably okay. Start bringing some guys in. And I can also start... I could try to seduce those butchers. That's probably a good idea. Stop them from being a problem. I have to figure out what to do with these shaman. I guess they have Entangling Strike, so they're still good to have anyways. Okay, that's one less problem. And start moving through these walls a bit. Open it up. Penguins aren't bad in hand-to-hand, really, so we can get those in there as well. Maybe start softening up the butchers if I can. And failing that, just kill my spiders? I think they did. Why is the auto lock not working? Okay, so what did we just lose here? We almost lost our hunters, and then over here, our spiders died, and our wards? Yeah. Okay. Could have been worse. Well, this is... yeah, that's not a safe spot to stand. Steady. Webbables. Okay, move up just a bit more. A bit more. Fortunate. Yeah, try to take them out. No. Man, I hate these things. Now you could do good work. Yeah, so what's the deal with butchers? They have pole arm, which gives and lifesteal. So you attack them, they heal, and they're fairly tough units on top of that. Makes them a real pain. You gone. I think I'm going to risk the shock serpents. Yeah, see, I didn't do that much damage, and I lost all my shock serpents there. I'm gonna do it again though. Let me get my spiders out. Yeah, still alive. I'm getting overwhelmed over here. The spiders come in to help. Big spiders. Them gone. My shaman, yeah, probably, even though he's not really meant to be a hand-to-hand fighter, probably win a hand-to-hand fight against the butchers. Probably. I wouldn't guarantee it, but it's possible. Start. And yeah, I think maybe I should have sent you the other way. Oh. Okay, okay, okay. Better the boars than a hero. I can go in for the Entangling Touch, or I can 60% to just whack them, 65 if I don't whack them. I'll go for the whack. Finish them off. Crippling the butchers would be nice. 2 to 3 or 2 to 4. Makes them a bit less scary. You defend, and you can finish those off, hopefully. Yeah, barely. Again, that's the annoying thing. You get in there to touch the untouchables. You come over to the shamans for healing. And you can... almost seems like a waste. Maybe you can finish that guy off? What about you? Can you come around? Yeah, if I put you here and here. Finish that. And then, what do they have left? They have two untouchables. which are kind of dangerous to heroes because they can, of course, give you that noxious vulnerability, and then they can stack that on with just their normal damage and make you unhappy and lower your defense and all sorts of stuff at once. So I'm gonna hold back with a hero. How you doing? I'm not gonna level up this fight unless I do some cheesy stuff, but you're doing pretty good. Is that a second? Yeah, there's 2 groups of butchers there, I just realized. And they just go straight for the hero. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think they just need to die. And yeah, now the question, let's test my theory that they can win in a fight against the butchers. There we go, easy. Yeah. I was moderately certain they could. Moderately. Moderate certainty, yeah. Well, maybe I'll try to grab those for myself. There's also a building you can get, which lets your city, to do it gives you some form of life stealing, I think it is. And with the butchers, it becomes a nightmare. Like, they get greater life stealing or something. I can't remember how it works. It's the slaughterhouse you can build, I think it is. It's been a while. Is that everything now? I think it is. Just these butchers left. Well, I'll start. Where were my injured spiders at? I forgot to move them. Send you back to heal. Whoever needs healing. Bring you over to fight. And sit here waiting for the butchers to come back out. There we go. And yeah, this is the thing where you use webs and you use healing, and you just do that forever until your whole army's healed, and that seems absurd to me. I guess crits, because I didn't actually mean to kill him there, but I guess crits do mess with that idea a little bit, but not enough. That was a lot more losses than I expected, but I was a lot of butchers. Alright, I'm going to wrap it up there. Passme recorded 2 hours of footage because he's having so much fun, so we'll have to continue in the next video. But I think that was a good place to end it on a big fight. So I'll see you in the next one. Alright, take care.